Before you ever think about asking your wife or girlfriend another emotionally loaded question, stop for a second. There's something crucial you need to understand. Certain questions, 5 in particular, almost always trigger a lie in a woman's mind before she even realizes she's doing it. It's not a maybe, it's automatic. And the reason behind this reflex lies deep in female psychology, a protective instinct most men never see coming. This isn't about harmless white lies or sparing your feelings. This is about fundamental relationship altering deception. And what makes it worse? Every woman you've ever asked these 5 questions, whether your girlfriend, wife, sister, or even your own mother, has lied. Not once or twice, but consistently. These are truths we've never admitted out loud until now. And after hearing this, you'll never see your conversations the same way again. Before I break open these 5 psychological vaults and reveal why women are wired to deceive when faced with them, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and drop your city in the comments. I want to see just how far this uncomfortable truth travels, because what I'm about to share goes beyond typical dating advice. It digs into raw female psychology, stuff no woman will openly confess, even to the man she loves. These lies shape the emotional foundation of your relationship. They influence the trust you give, the energy you invest, and the future you think you're building. And yet, most men never see them because we've become masters at packaging deception in emotionally palatable ways. Let's begin with the first question, a question every man asks at some point, but almost no woman answers truthfully. How many men have you slept with? Now, I've been asked this question by nearly every serious partner I've had, but I've never told the full truth. My real number, it's 23, but the highest number I've ever shared, just 8. And if that gap shocks you, understand it's not unusual. It's calculated, it's strategic, and it has very little to do with honesty or shame. When you ask this, we don't blurt out a number. We run it through an emotional filter. We assess your personality, your past, how secure you are, and how experienced you seem. Then we decide on a number, not based on fact, but based on what will make you feel special while keeping your ego intact. We want to preserve the fantasy of exclusivity without losing your interest or trust. For more traditional or conservative men, the number we give is usually low, 3 to 6. We mention the long-term boyfriends and erase the messy details, the college experiments, the impulsive vacation flings, and the one-night encounters we pretend never happened. For more seasoned men, we might give a range like 8 to 12. Still sanitized, still curated, but slightly more believable. The psychology behind this is complicated. We're not trying to be malicious. We're protecting not just our image, but your emotions and the perceived security of the relationship. Most men say they want the truth, but that truth, it lingers. It seeps into your mind when you're lying in bed with us. It haunts you during intimacy. It alters the way you view our sexual knowledge, our past, and your own significance. And so, we've invented emotional loopholes. That guy we slept with after a breakup doesn't count. We were drunk. That man from the business trip, it only happened once. Doesn't count. The years-long on-again, off-again relationship, one man, not many encounters, also doesn't count. Multiple times. We find ways to whittle down the number while convincing ourselves we're still being somewhat honest. When we hesitate before answering, it's not confusion, it's calculation. We're computing what number won't scare you off. And if you ever catch us defensive or dodging the question, multiply the number we give by 2.5. That'll land you closer to the truth. But even if we do respond quickly and confidently, that number's probably been rehearsed so many times, we believe it ourselves. Now, the reason we lie isn't just to deceive, it's because we've learned the truth damages things more. The raw number isn't just digits to you, it's an emotional minefield. So, we manage your reaction through selective disclosure. It's a survival tactic, and it works. But let's move from the past to something even more dangerous, the present. Because the second question hits at something men instinctively fear. Are you attracted to any of your male friends? Now, I'll be honest. I've had sexual or emotional thoughts about at least 4 male friends while in committed relationships. But if my boyfriend ever asked, my response would be calm, composed, and filled with wide-eyed denial. I'd probably say, "Of course not," and throw in a laugh because that's what keeps the peace. That's what keeps the security. And yet the truth is that yes, many women are attracted to at least one male friend, sometimes more. We imagine what it would be like to kiss them, to be single again, and explore that connection. These friendships don't exist in a vacuum. Some of them were born from attraction, and some exist as emotional insurance policies. If not for physical intimacy, then for emotional fulfillment later. But why would we lie about this? Because if we told the truth, you'd question every hangout, every text, every moment we laughed at his jokes. You'd want us to cut him off. You'd never see him the same way again. You'd wonder every time we smiled at our phone whether it was him, and sometimes it is, but we're not going to admit that because honesty in this case would destroy what we've built with you. So instead, we tell you, he's like a brother. We insist you're paranoid. We flip your worry into insecurity. We turn your valid concern into a weakness one will graciously overlook. Meanwhile, we maintain the connection. We keep him around. We message late at night. Sometimes we put extra effort into our appearance when we know we'll see him, but never enough to raise suspicion. And if we had zero attraction to him, setting boundaries would be easy. It's our resistance, our defensiveness that reveals the truth. It's the way we argue to keep the friendship that shows you something deeper is going on. Because for us, emotional safety and attraction often exist side by side. And letting go of that attention, it feels like giving up power. Now let's move into even murkier territory. The third question, one that seems innocent but holds the power to end a relationship. Are you happy with me? Most men ask this to feel reassured. But the truth, this question terrifies us because answering honestly means we have to confront our own dissatisfaction, and that often means making uncomfortable decisions we're not ready for. I've told boyfriends I was happy while actively fantasizing about life without them, not because I wanted to lie, but because admitting I wasn't happy would start a spiral I wasn't ready to handle. Saying, "I'm happy," is often easier than facing what would come next. Fights, tears, ultimatums, or having to explain feelings we don't fully understand ourselves. We say, "I'm happy enough," when we're emotionally checked out but not quite ready to leave. We say, "I'm fine," when we've already mentally started a different life. We post romantic photos online, plan pretend futures, and smile through dinners we're no longer emotionally present for, all while hiding the deep questions we're quietly asking ourselves about whether this is still worth it. The truth is, when we finally admit unhappiness, it's not a new feeling. It's one we've buried for months. By the time we open up, we've already disengaged emotionally. We're already imagining new partners, new possibilities. That question about happiness, it rarely sparks repair. More often, it signals the countdown to the end. The honesty comes too late to save anything. And then comes the fourth question, the one that reveals our emotional betrayal. Have you ever emotionally cheated? We dread this question more than any other, because the answer would shake the very ground of your trust. I've emotionally cheated in every serious relationship. Deep late-night conversations with men who weren't my partner, sharing my problems, my thoughts, my feelings with someone else. We call it friendship. You call it betrayal. And honestly, both are right. We form emotional bonds with other men long before any physical line is crossed, if it ever is. It starts slowly. He listens, he understands, he validates, and soon we look forward to those messages more than time with you. We share more with him, we laugh more, and even though nothing sexual has happened, something sacred has shifted. We rationalize it as harmless. He's just a friend. We say we're just talking. But deep down, we know what we're doing. We're feeding an emotional need elsewhere because we're not getting it from you. And when you ask, we don't just deny, we turn it back on you. We get offended. We act shocked because that reaction buys us time. It protects the emotional world we've built behind your back. And finally, we reach the most dangerous question of all. one that no woman answers truthfully. Do you still think about your ex? The real answer, yes, we do. Often, and not just randomly. Sometimes it's during arguments, sometimes it's when we see his name, and yes, sometimes even during sex. That memory never completely fades, especially if he marked us emotionally or physically in a way no one else has. Certain exes become emotional benchmarks. We compare you to them even when we don't want to. Some represented what could have been. Some were mistakes we secretly miss. Others simply understood parts of us you never quite did. We don't tell you this because it would crush you. It would make you feel like you're competing with ghosts. And in a way, you are. So, we lie. We say he's in the past. We act confused that these 5 questions may never get honest answers. But your awareness of that deception, that's your power. Use it wisely.